Lord, make us instruments of your peace.
Where there is hatred, let us sow love.
Where there is injury, pardon.
Where there is doubt,
Faith. Where there is despair, hope.
Where there is darkness,
light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master,
grant that we may not so much seek
to be consoled as to console,
to be understood as to understand,
to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive,
it is in pardoning that we are pardoned,
and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Here is your WESN News on the Hour. I'm Naomi McNish. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Convicted killer appeals life sentence. Foreign minister criticizes opposition leader. Trump halts refugee resettlement, impacts TNT families. And internationally, Trump halts federal DEI programs. Now for the details. Convicted murderer Natasha De Leon is appealing a judge's refusal to review her life sentence for a 1993 murder. She's asking the appeal court to overturn her sentence and release her immediately. In January 2024, Justice Hayden St. Clair Douglas resentenced De Leon to 33 years for the murder of taxi driver Chandranath Maharaj, leaving her with just over 2 years to serve. De Leon is also challenging her life sentence for the manslaughter of another taxi driver, Lambert Duku. However, the judge ruled that reviewing that sentence is the role of the Mercy Committee, not the court. The Court of Appeal, led by Justice Gillian Luckey, reserved its ruling after arguments from both sides. This case could set legal precedents regarding life sentences and clemency reviews in Trinidad and Tobago. Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amory Brown has slammed opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar for her comments praising Donald Trump while criticizing Joe Biden. Persad-Bissessar called Biden's administration a disaster and accused it of promoting divisive policies. Brown described her remarks as reckless and undiplomatic, warning they could harm Trinidad and Tobago's foreign relations. Speaking at the Red House, he urged Persad-Bissessar to rethink her tone and align with diplomatic norms. Other government officials, including Labour Minister Stephen McClatchy, also condemned her comments, labeling them undignified and politically unwise. President Donald Trump has suspended U.S. foreign assistance programs for 90 days, including refugee resettlement efforts. The decision leaves hundreds of refugees in limbo, including families in Trinidad and Tobago. The suspension, effective January 27th, halts a program established under the Biden administration that facilitated safe migration to the U.S. Venezuelan, Cuban, and Haitian refugees in Trinidad and Tobago are among those affected. Local refugee advocates, including the UNHCR and the Living Water community, are still analyzing the order's impact. Refugees with cancelled travel dates say they feel abandoned, as many had already sold possessions and left jobs in preparation for their move. The suspension comes as Trump also cancels other humanitarian initiatives, prompting widespread uncertainty for vulnerable migrants across the region. Internationally, President Donald Trump has ordered an immediate suspension of all federal diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, calling them immoral and divisive. Under a new executive order, all DEI staff must be placed on paid leave by the end of today, with plans to permanently shut down these offices within 60 days. Trump argues the programs undermine civil rights laws and promote discrimination rather than unity. The order also revokes a 1965 rule prohibiting federal contractors from hiring discrimination based on race, religion, or gender. Federal agencies have until January 31st to submit plans for layoffs. Critics warn the move could erode workplace diversity, while Trump says it fulfills his campaign promise to build a merit-based, colorblind society. Well, that's news to the hour on WESN. I'm Naomi McNish. Thanks for watching.
WESN.
Her voice has mesmerized us for years.
And now, in a rare treat for music fans,
Shakuntala and Friends in concert, featuring Shakuntala Jangbahadur. Singing sensation Deval Chaiklal, brilliant musician Dr. Shivanan Maharaj, master flautist and saxophonist Narendra Maharaj, with music from Shiv Sangeet Orchestra, Shakuntala and Friends in concert.
Shakuntala, Tala.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Join me, Dr. Nalini Kokram, on What's Up Doc, where we discuss all your burning questions concerning health.
Trinidad and Tobago is among one of the highest risk group of patients that develop this form of genetic breast cancer.
What I'd like to take home from a short interview like this, screening. You must screen.
Because it's silent.
It's silent.
Yeah.
And because it's silent, you don't know it's there.
What's Up Doc, every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN, Content Capital.
Between the Bank and the Gutter, a novel about street dwellers in Port of Spain. This is a book to make you both laugh and cry. Above all, it takes you to that special space that only street dwellers know. In this moving and riveting human interest story, Harry journeys from insanity to sanity while living on the streets of Port of Spain. Now available at Metropolitan Books, 12 Aripita Avenue, Woodbrook. Paper-based bookshop, 14 Alcazar Street, Woodbrook. WESN, 30A Gattaca Street, Woodbrook. And the home store branches located at Barataria, Chaguanas, and East Gates Mall. Autographed copies now available on request. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh. I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People, and Closer to the Church.
Simon's Musical Supplies Limited. We are the specialist in new and used musical instruments, carrying top brands like Yamaha, Pearl River pianos, vinyl and Sabian cymbals, Remo and Evans drumheads and Fender guitars, just to name a few. Also a wide assortment of music books, pan and accessories. At Simon's, we service what we sell. Trust the leader. Call us now at 625-6412 or visit us at 20 Board Street, Port of Spain.
WESN.
Hello there, and welcome to AM Prime on WESN Content Capital. I'm Keith Shaw. Thank you for joining us. Now, we would get into our first topic of discussion shortly with our first guest this morning, which really focuses on our oil and gas sector, particularly what it may look like under a Trump presidency. We don't know for certain, but the comments on the part of President Trump during his campaign and even at his inauguration speech does suggest it's not necessarily very promising for Trinidad and Tobago. But as I said, we don't know for certain. We would get into that shortly. But a very important aspect of that conversation, a very important part, is in relation to foreign exchange and Trinidad and Tobago's ability to generate foreign exchange, particularly from our export market. That being said, what is really going on in Trinidad and Tobago is now to a point of being quite, it's beyond alarming to say the least. There have been arguments that there isn't a foreign exchange crisis in Trinidad and Tobago. There's been arguments that there isn't a foreign exchange shortage in Trinidad and Tobago, that local banks are withholding US dollars. In fact, I will say it recently, on two occasions, 2 days apart, at various food establishments, one a franchise, the other, well, a Dulles vendor. Two individuals who I assume to be locals based off of how they spoke and their accent actually paid for their meals in US dollars, US currency. Yeah, there was a lady, right, again, assumed to be local, just based off of the way they spoke their accent, who purchased doubles in US currency because she didn't have TT cash on her and the double stand didn't take a debit card. And I thought that was quite interesting. And then, yeah, I experienced that again at another food establishment, this time a franchise, where they paid in US dollars. Again, based off of accent, based how they spoke, assumed to be locals. So, okay, I wonder what's going on there. Is it a possibility? These are individuals who just arrived from the United States or a foreign nation where there's easy access to US dollars and therefore they have it on them. I don't know. You don't know the circumstances, but I thought that quite intriguing because then we go on to learn that there are business establishments, and I use the word establishments because only one in particular has been reported in the last week of having to close locations, outlets, because of a lack of foreign exchange. But then when I read the comments coming from the chairman of the Confederation of Regional Business Chambers, Vivek Charan, and even from the Faizabad Chamber of Commerce President Angie Jairam in relation to the Chamber of Industry and Commerce's survey as it relates to Forex. Clearly, there are more businesses that are closing, at least if not their business in entirety, their operations, locations, because of the issue as it relates to foreign exchange. So, I'm putting this all into context because, of course, this isn't anything that is necessarily new to us. We've become, to a certain extent, understanding of our foreign exchange situation. We've accepted, for whatever the reason, that there is a lack of foreign exchange, at least that is available to the most common man on the streets in Trinidad and Tobago. Even if, again, even if you want to travel to the United States, for example, or any other country, any other foreign destination, and you need foreign dollars, you can't get it. You imagine going to the bank to try and get foreign exchange for traveling for 2 weeks, and they say we can give you 300 US dollars in cash. What does 300 US dollars in cash actually permit in respect to 2 weeks of travel to the United States? I can't understand the logic there, but that's because of the shortfall. And then there's the use of credit cards. So that's the thing. Imagine now that in some instances, people are being forced of having to sign up for credit cards and having to get that $2,000 US limit for use. Thing is, even with that, if there is an emergency and you have to travel and you have 2,000 US limit, an emergency, you have to travel next week. How are you to book airfare? How are you to book a hotel? How are you to have money to travel within that destination, even purchase food within that destination on a 2,000 US dollar credit card limit? And that's the situation that we find ourselves in. And it's quite daunting. It really is daunting. But then, as I said, people are being forced to have to sign up for credit cards, to have to register for credit cards. And then in some instances, if you go to banks, depending on the bank, if you have to get multiple credit cards from different banking establishments, you have to open an account. But the thing what I'm hearing now that is even more so concerning is that these banks where you're signing up for credit cards, at least two banks that I've been told, not speaking from personal experience, speaking from those who have heard from this, so I'm taking their word for it, they are requiring you to have that as your main bank account in which your income is designated to go into. So if I had my income, my salary, going into a previous bank account, an account that I have since I born, all of a sudden I need to get access to more foreign exchange, so I'm going to have multiple credit cards. So I'm probably going to sign up for another banking institution. They expect me to put my income, my salary into that account that I established. And that's what's happening. They're forcing that. And then the interest rates, of course, is a whole other story. But this is the thing, as I said, seeing all this to sum it up, what is really being told to us on the part of the Minister of Finance? And by extension, the government. What is really being said to us? Quite frankly, not much within recent times. These actually, the state of emergency, the state of affairs, even some of the comments from the opposition leader, which is about a week old, by the way, but all these things allow us to digress away from a lot of bigger issues. State of emergency, big issue, but that's dominated the conversation so much that we've seen to a certain degree forgotten about the state of affairs, forgotten about the state of our economy. And that's quite unfortunate. And this is what I'm saying, exactly what is being said to us by the Minister of Finance. He can stay quiet because no one is really challenging him. And then go to a press conference held by the Minister of Finance and other journalists. He does not like the questions you ask. He doesn't like the fact that you're probably putting him on the spot. You might just get blocked from ever attending a press conference with the Minister of Finance again, or even, quite possibly, getting in contact with him at all. And that is what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. That is the state of affairs. So, if I go back to what the Minister of Finance in his budget presentation said, was it 3 years ago or 2 years ago? Madam Speaker, the economy is booming. Really? Is the economy booming? So I'm just going to go out on a limb here with a bit of a prediction as it relates to an election. We're going to have a mid-year budget review, and then we're going to have the election. Because all that you're reading about, all that's happening, whether it be protests at the University of the West Indies over stalled wage negotiations, whether it be another business closes down or closes branches because of a lack of foreign exchange, but then there's another business that's increased its exports regionally, not internationally, regionally by 50%. That's good. Again, not saying that it's a good thing. Where is that foreign exchange going to? When you have all these restrictions coming from the banks, when you can't get cash to travel with, when in some instances you have to sign up for multiple credit cards, what is really being said to us in Trinidad and Tobago? And the thing is, arguably, the individuals in power, the individuals who are responsible, ultimately are getting away with it because there is no strong opposition. Really, I mean, we will speak about the opposition leader's comments in respect to Joe Biden's presidency later on. Everybody is allowed to have an opinion, but in the position of a past prime minister, in the position of an individual who is striving to be prime minister, diplomacy is quite important. And such commentary, well, that's something else. But the mere fact is, why am I not hearing more from the opposition in relation to these issues? In fact, not just these issues, but not just this main opposition party, but opposition parties in general. Why am I not hearing more from them on these core functions? I also want to know what are their plans to try and reverse such from taking place. So again, Transvago, yes, we have a state of emergency. Yes, that has been the priority. Yes, that has been the focus. But take a look at your dollar and realize that the value of that dollar is shrinking. Realize that as much as the Minister of Finance recently wants to speak about our inflation rate, saying it's one of the lowest in the Caribbean, the 0.5% he was speaking about, it's a direct result of government policy. He can't tell you what policy it is. He can't tell you exactly what policy it is. He can make a blanket statement and say it's a direct result of government policy. Celebrate that. The value of your dollar is shrinking. Purchasing power for consumers every day is shrinking. And every time you go to the grocery, it seems as though for the same items you bought 2 weeks ago or a month ago, the prices go up. Your bill when you reach the cash register goes up. That is what's happening. So we don't know what's gonna take place tomorrow. We could assume what is gonna happen based off of trends, but it is a daunting situation to say the least. And when a minister of finance could come to a nation and promise that VAT returns would be paid by December 31st, 2024, but that is delayed by at least a month because we're going to start paying VAT returns, but we we're going to have to start with SMEs. Just imagine a minister of finance saying it's not a matter of bureaucracy, it is a matter of cash flow. We do not have the cash. We did not have the cash on hand. A minister of finance is saying that, and the reason being is because of the oil and gas market, that prices were much lower than we anticipated. And I wonder sometimes, boy, I said it last year, I said it in 2023 and in 2022, when it came to the estimates by the Minister of Finance, when it came to his budget presentation, he was he could have been more conservative. He should have been more conservative. This is nothing new that I am saying. This is nothing new that has not been said on this station or others previously. It was said at those budget presentations. It could have been and probably should have been more conservative. But now, when they tell you, we don't have your VAT, the VAT that you already paid for, the VAT that was already in our system, the VAT that was already in our bank accounts, we don't have that to give to you. What does that say coming from a minister of finance? And piece it all together and ask yourself, the minister of finance is boasting of a low inflation rate because a direct result of government policies. So why is it because of a cash flow issue we can't say that's a direct result of government policies? Why? It's a matter of convenience. Really is a matter of convenience. Ah, boy, the life of a politician, the kind of politics that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a break here on the program. We will return shortly. Stay with us.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus. Quality you trust. Prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
Do you need treatment for obesity or any related abdominal procedures? The community hospital now offers minimally invasive laparoscopic surgery done by an American-trained, board-certified surgeon with over 20 years' experience. Give us a call at 235-5479 for more information.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Simon's Musical Supplies Limited. We are the specialist in new and used musical instruments, carrying top brands like Yamaha, Pearl River pianos, vinyl and Sabian cymbals, Remo and Evans drumheads and Fender guitars, just to name a few. Also a wide assortment of music books, pan and accessories. At Simon's, we service what we sell. Trust the leader. Call us now at 625-6412 or visit us at 20 Board Street, Port of Spain.
The best birthday gifts are at dbesttoys.com. Shop for the best brands you love at the best prices, like VTech, Leapfrog, Fisher-Price, Play-Doh, Hot Wheels, Bobby, Cocomelon, LOL, Baby Alive, Crayola. Visit us in-store at Forces Flagship MacBean. Shop online now at dbesttoys.com. Order via call or WhatsApp at 32DBEST to order. And remember, we have the best toys at the best prices.
SM Group International Limited, your solutions partner for the latest innovations, brands and competent staff to meet your needs. We provide products and services in the following divisions: executive services, event rental and services, power and heavy equipment, construction and property management, food and beverage, aggregate and sales and distribution. Check out more on our products and services at www.smgrouptt.com. Contact us at 221-7445 or email at info@smgrouptt.com. We are SM Group International, your solutions partner. Fan Zone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. So we were due to have a conversation on our oil and gas sector with Mr. Kevin Ryan. We have postponed that conversation to tomorrow morning, so you can look forward to that because we've had other conversations to have this morning, and in fact, it's a very positive conversation. I'm very pleased about this, knowing that we actually highlighted what was taking place with the Trans-Tobago Marathon in the last quarter of 2024, when there was a possibility that it may not have been held. And then Bathurst Sports became the savior of the day. And there is a 2025 edition, which actually starts quite soon on March 10th, actually, the 10K on March 10th. This year it's a bit different, though. It's a midnight marathon and breakfast party. Everybody likes a party. So this is just fun aspect of it. Trans-Tobago Marathon must bring a party to it. Excellent marketing on the part of Bathurst Sports, and joined this morning by marketing and a public relations officer at Bathurst Sports, Mr. Vern Exterball. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Shah. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Excellent, thank you. Very happy to know that we have been able to make progress and keep the marathon alive after 42 years and keep it going for our 43rd. So very, very happy to be here this morning. Thank you.
Quite happy on my part as well. And congratulations. I think this is excellent. But I also am quite excited as per how Bathurst Sports has redeveloped the marathon and for how they're proposing this takes place. First of all, why has Bathurst Sports invested in this marathon, knowing the issues that have been associated with it that almost led to its demise? Why has Bathurst Sports now invested in the TNT Marathon?
Well, Bathurst Sports investment is more about Trinidad and Tobago than just the marathon. I think our main interest has come from what our name stands for, which is by athletes for athletes. It's a group that has been started with a primary focus on fitness and health education. And as a running club in its foundation, and with running base as part of our, really and truly our mojo in the machinery, having a marathon is what we have kind of put some very key interest on, because it is a part of life. It's very key to note for Trinidad and Tobago that the WHO has noted that our lack of movement, particularly after COVID-19, has been leading us down a road of a lot of NCDs and non-communicable diseases, as it were. And movement is one of the key ways to get around, get away from, and to cure that. And as a running club and as a running unit, we've seen the value of that. So for a major running event like the Trinidad Marathon not to happen would be definitely heartbreaking for us. So we've taken the bull by the horns, taken the sacrifice to get involved, and basically put ourselves out there for national service to make sure that we do have a marathon.
So, let me just bring in another aspect of this conversation, a vision on the part of Bathurst Sports, which, if I'm not mistaken, is 1 million miles for charity, a run for 1 million miles for charity. Surely there is some part of this that is incorporated into the marathon, but exactly how does this 1 million miles for charity work?
Right, that is our million mile challenge, which is our flagship for the last year or three. And that is us encouraging people to run 1 million miles so that we could raise $1 million for charity. So far, that particular goal is nearing 1/3 of its goal. We've already achieved about 300,000 miles so far. If you go to the BathurstSports.com page, you will be able to see the million mile tracker that gives a good idea of where we are at. That million mile proposal is exactly where we stand in terms of our commitment to health of the country, to charity organizations that need support. So by our collective running through all the community members who can run, all the runners in the country who join this million mile challenge and continue to add their miles. Once we hit that million mile mark, we will donate $1 million to charity. That is one of our flagship contributions to the community, and I'm glad you mentioned it. So the Trinidad and Tobago Midnight Marathon now will also help us to keep contributing to that. We will take some of those miles from in there and add it to the million mile tracker so that we could achieve that million mile. It helps us as well as a people to show how serious we are about health, fitness, and movement.
Not moving away too much from the marathon, but I am actually on BAFA Sports website right now. It's the first thing that pops up. Actually, in respect to the Million Mile Challenge. How does this work? Because I'm seeing a lot of races here, a lot of 5Ks and 10Ks, and I'm seeing numbers next to them. Exactly how does this work? How is this formula working?
Right. So what happens is that you register as a Million Mile participant, and on your own time you run, and our software and the app monitors what you achieve on a, whether it's weekly, daily, monthly, however you could put in your miles. But once you register and sign up for the Million Mile race, you could add your goals in increments. So you could add a couple miles every month, and every sign up you get I think about 280. Don't quote me on the 280 miles, but when you do your sign up, it'll tell you exactly how much. The good thing about that is it works with you, what you can achieve, what is your ability. And it's not just about running as well. You could walk and clock and register your miles, and remember that registering these miles and inputting it and sending it into the machinery means that you are contributing to us making it to that million and giving $1 million to charity. So it's all about you. On your time, virtually, you achieve your miles as you can based on your ability. And we're looking for 1 million miles, hopefully soon, because we're already at just over 300,000.
Well, if I was looking for a good excuse to get up and start walking or running other than for the sake of my health and well-being, I just found one, so congratulations to BAFA Sports on that. Coming back to the TNT Marathon, it's a whole new marathon. I mean, the theme is quite different this year. It's a midnight marathon and breakfast party. Now, the official launch takes place this Saturday. It focuses on children this Saturday in particular, if I'm not mistaken. But tell me more about this theme, about this midnight marathon. What's the thinking behind this?
Well, funny enough, a midnight marathon actually makes sense, because if you're a runner, running in the sun is treacherous, and we've seen where we are based on how our sunshine is now, and we are into a dry season. I don't know if you all have noticed, even though there's rain, the heat that we do experience when the sun is out, it is, it's pretty hot. So having a marathon at midnight means cooler running conditions, better performance from your marathoners, less traffic on the roadways, less of an interruption of your day-to-day operations when you try to put the marathon at during business hours. So it does work out for everyone involved, especially the runners, and it also works out for culture. Culturally, we are, like you said, you notice the breakfast party part of it, and a lot of people latch on to that. That is a great component for a celebration at the end of a midnight marathon in the capital of Carnival, in the home of Steel Pan. I think culturally it makes sense for us to do a marathon that's run at midnight, celebrated with a little breakfast party, cultural activities beforehand. It also helps us with a lot of the things that you will see pop up and we will reveal as we go along in terms of the features of this marathon that you can experience. So this midnight marathon is not a strange concept. There's a midnight marathon in New York and many other territories around the world, but it is unique to Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, and it is now going to be what we hope, a very strong pillar for the running and athletic community in the Caribbean.
Actually, when COVID restrictions were slowly being lifted, I do recall there being a virtual aspect to the marathon where people had to walk and clock in their miles as well. Is that what is taking place with this midnight marathon, or is there an actual starting point and an end point? Is there a designated trail for this particular marathon?
Yes, the marathon is in person in this particular instance, while BAFA Sports might have been one of the pioneers in terms of virtual races in the country, and we have a good apparatus for that, and we encourage virtual races a lot. This particular marathon is in person, and again, it's a good return to in-person running. So we do anticipate that it will, require people to take a little time to get prepared. Hence the reason we are putting out a good bit of marketing now, so you could start your campaigns. One of our key partners has said, in order to get ready for a marathon, you should practice for just about 16 to 18 weeks and getting a good training regime. So those training regimes will start because this is in person, and some of that virtual component could contribute via your training. So you can keep your virtual races, keep contributing to your million-mile trail training, and then head into the marathon. But we also want to make sure that people engage in the marathon based on your ability.
What happens if you've been stagnant and still for 16 to 18 years? Is 16 to 18 weeks enough time?
16 to 18 weeks may not be enough time, depending on, that would, depend on the nutrition that you might have been involved in, depending on other activities that you might have had. But I would suggest, take it in stride for everyone. We would not want to have injuries or people, being overly exhausted and really and truly dropping down on the race route. So there is also a 10K component in there and a half marathon. So people could also build up. Start making your way to work towards, if you've done no exercise, work up to the 5K. And just for clarity, this weekend's 5K starts in the afternoon at about 3 p.m. And that is a good workup for you to come and start to see where your running threshold is. Get into that 5K. The 1K is mainly for the children, the 5K is for the older persons, and that will give you a good gauge of where you're at. And you could aspire now to train towards a 10K. And then probably next year, aspire towards training for the half marathon. And then the following year, on to the full marathon. And as you continue to develop and grow, because what we want to do is encourage a habit of movement. We want to really and truly make progress through that movement. So build up and continue to work towards a goal. You climb that peak. The running peak is that 26.2-mile marathon in our running community. You could work towards getting there over a period of time.
You sort of explained it in relation to how the different aspects of or the different parts of this particular series, because it is a series of races, can be beneficial. But why even the concept of a series of races? You've got this 1K and 5K taking place this Saturday. But you've got that 10K on March 10th and the half marathon on April 13th. And then, which by the way, it's amazing how the dates align at 10K on the 10th, half marathon on the 13th. And then you've got the full-fledged marathon on May 18th, the 26.2 mile. Why this series?
Well, a series also allows for us to really and truly get that preparation in there. Develop and get to the 10, develop and get to the half marathon, which is 13.1, and then go to your 26.2 full marathon. And most marathons across the world run a series because we want to engage as many runners as possible. People who are at different levels can come and contribute, race, and earn medals. And talking about the medals, Bafa Sports is known for these wonderful medals, and we've gotten a great medal that does have a secret component in it as well, which we will really reveal during the week. But what it is, it gives you 3 medals for your race contribution. So when you run your 10K, your half marathon, and the full marathon, you get 3 medals that combine and click into one major medal. So as you see on the screen here, these are the 3 medals individually. So one for the 10K, one for the 13.1 mile, which is your half marathon, and then one for 26.2 miles of running, which is a full marathon. Each one of these, culturally specific, has some component of Trinidad and Tobago and our carnival and our culture in there. But they actually join together to click to make one major medal to really seal the deal on a keepsake for your accomplishment of running this mountain of a marathon.
I will tell you, those medals are beautiful. They're amazing. I mean, the mere fact that you can put it together to make one big medal that is representative of Trans-Tobago is quite astounding. Buffer Sports really came out banging this year when it comes to this marathon. They thought about everything.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And we look forward to continue to working on it. I think we have thought of as much as we can, and we also do keep it very, very open to get contributions from the running community. Our Facebook page is always very active. Our running community is always very engaged, and we're happy to take, comments. And a lot of this has been built on feedback from actual runners. Whether you're a hobbyist, whether you are, really into it and you're into Thanos mode, trying to get into that running community, it is really and truly their feedback, their race. This is by athletes, for athletes, but it's also open, and we've seen a lot of the public who've been interested in recovering from health issues, people who've been interested in just improving health, coming out and joining us. And I think that is one of the joys. We've been able to create a race that is very, very inclusive, and we want to continue to do that with the Trinidad and Tobago Midnight Marathon from 2025 go on.
Mr. Exeter, the thing is, using myself as a personal example, I mean, I'm very much into running. I love it. Think it's an excellent form of exercise and something that you can enjoy, especially in the beautiful environments that exist across Trinidad and Tobago. But I might not be able to run that 26.2-mile marathon. Yet those medals are something that is very much motivational. I want to get my hands on that medal. Is there a possibility of me probably bringing a team that we could probably do relay aspects of this? Parts of us complete it and the other team then goes on, or the other individuals, try and make this a team event as well.
Yes, that is actually very, very possible. There is a relay component to the 26.2-mile marathon, and we look forward to teams coming out and running in portions. As it is right now, I think we've set it up that you could come with just about 10 runners, and everybody runs just about a 2-mile run, which is just under 5K of their own strength, and the running group will get some recognition and medals as well for running as a team. So yes, there is a relay component. So details on that, of course, we also want to flesh out specifically, and the buffersports.com website will give some more details as we progress into the weeks going forward, because everything will roll out in tranches. But yes, there is going to be a relay component.
Oh, well, I feel a lot better now. But what's the designated route? Has that been already established?
We are working on a route, but I don't want to tell tales out of school because there are various approvals that have to be had, which are going in the right direction so far. But ideally, I just want to say that we are moving from Port of Spain up the bus route.
That's fair, because I know that there's still some time to put everything into place. But coming back to the aspect of a midnight marathon, it's an excellent concept. I think it's something different, something new that people could look forward to, and it's quite exciting. But of course, I must also bring in safety concerns. I mean, there are a lot of safety concerns, particularly now in Trinidad and Tobago, things aren't easy, things aren't that great. What is BAFA Sports doing to reassure participants that their safety is priority and that we're going to do everything in our power to ensure that you'll look after during this marathon?
Well, one of the things that BAFA Sport has always been proud of is that safety has been a very critical part of all of our races. Our race marshals and our race assistants are trained for this, trained in assistance for health and emergency response, as well as safety in general. One of the pluses that we have in our pocket is a good relationship with the Defense Force and the national security bodies that work closely with us. And we must say, a very special thank you to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, who've worked with us on all of our races, ideally, throughout our 6-7 years of putting on races. So that has also meant that our relationship is symbiotic. The police understands what we need, what our runners need, and how they need to function, and we understand how to work with the authorities in order that they get the respect, placement, and notifications on time. That conversation with the officers is currently ongoing, and I can say, though, that we also are going to include some people from the Defense Force as part of our assistance in getting this race off, because a lot of the Defense Force men and women are runners. A lot of them are included, so they are part of our network and our DNA, so that as we progress, safety and security being paramount is part of what we do as BAFA Sports.
Incredible. Now, let's get to something that's even more fun, the breakfast party aspect of this. What's going on there?
Right, well, that is still under development, and we want to try to keep that close to the chest a little bit, but that breakfast component, that breakfast party component is definitely part. It is one of those parts that helps to give our fans who come to look at the race, those people who are looking forward to see how the races run and look at people coming in and give a good feedback to the viewing community that they could celebrate alongside. You know, they could have something to do on the side while we wait on the runners to come in. And when they do come in, create a nice celebration. So it is also going to be very, very cultural. We expect to have a lot of steel pan, a lot of our cultural characters going to be in there, a lot of our cultural stars as well. We hope to be on stage as well. And that particular component will have its own platform for its development as well too. So you could come and just party if you want as well a little bit. But I think for the most part, by the time we finish build the momentum for the race of itself, you'll understand that the breakfast party is actually a good celebration for a marathon that says, we are Trinidad and Tobago. This is a midnight marathon. This is how we put it on as Baffa Sports.
Who doesn't like a Trinbago breakfast? And who doesn't like a party? I think that's a very exciting aspect.
And a good healthy breakfast at that too. Yeah, a good healthy breakfast as that it will be provided.
Well, when you say healthy breakfast, some people have different definitions of healthier. But I know with Baffa Sports, we can expect really something great, something good for everyone. But, you know, Mr. Exeter, this Saturday is the launch. Where is this taking place? I think you said 3 p.m., but what can we expect from this Saturday's launch?
3 p.m. at the Queen's Park Savannah. This one in particular is, you know, is a new concept as well on a race launch for the marathon. It is at the Queen's Park Savannah, so you could join us at our regular runoff area there, the TGI, and from 3 p.m. we will have the 1K and then the 5K. So the 1K will be for the children to run, and then the 5K will run off for the more seasoned runners, the older runners. And these particular races are really good, fun activities. You could come run and walk. It is not super competitive. Once you finish the race, you could get one of these beautiful carnival medals. And these carnival medals we are also very proud of. That says a lot about Trinidad and Tobago. I think this is excellent. I would like to say, though, unfortunately, the races are currently sold out. Yeah, and I mean, it is one of the things that we tend to see happen with our races, and we're very happy.
All the races? Are you talking about just this Saturday?
1K and the 5K so far. What is good, though, WSN is actually getting an exclusive here today because registration for the 10K half marathon and marathon are now live as we speak. It was being completed just before we finished this interview, and we thought it was very nice to have it, and you would get that exclusive content that race registration is now at 0 for the 10K, the half marathon, and the full marathon. But it is now live as of right this minute. As of 7 a.m. this morning, right now, you could go on and register for the 10K, half marathon, and full marathons. The 1K and 5K for this weekend are sold out, but you do have a chance to get on board as one of the first registrants simply because you are here with us this morning. So you could go and registration for the 10K, Sha.
I'm on it. but before I go, and before you go, where can people register? How do they register?
You simply go to the www.baffasports.com. Everything is on our platform. Once you get in there, yeah, you will see the registration. So you should see the links up now. www.baffasports.com, BAFASPORTS.com. Get in, register. You could register for Million Mile. There are also a series of other races that we are going to be doing. You know, we have the Energy Chamber race coming up soon, and Perenco, and a lot of other races that you could also keep registering, because these races will also help with your fitness as you go towards the marathon. You could use them as part of your training schedule. Get on board and run a Baffa race and keep moving, because you know that a healthy lifestyle depends on that movement. We need to keep moving.
Oh, this is excellent. I'm actually on the website right now, and I'm seeing the registration links. So that is pretty awesome. In my haste, in my excitement, I accidentally misspelled, I misspelled sports. Thankfully,
That's all right.
Mr. Exeter was kind enough to spell it out as I was typing first. Oh, well, this is incredible. And again, before we go, where can people get more information? I think we actually have the flyers that we can put up on screen as well. But, you know, is there a page to follow? Is there a
Our
number
Facebook
to
page is, yes, our Facebook page, Instagram page, and our TikTok is going to get a lot more vibrant with this marathon. So you can look out for those. Everything is Baffa Sports. www.baffersports.com. Just look for @BafferSports. We've been privileged to get a pretty unique name, so it is pretty easy to find. Once you Google Baffer Sports, you should find a lot of the links there, but mainly our Facebook page is one of the most active places. You can get information, see the flyers, see races, and the key resource is on our website at www.baffersports.com.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you once more, these are the medals. You can put that back up on the screen because on March 16th, we've got the Midnight 10K, on April 13th, the Midnight Half Marathon, and of course on May 18th, the Midnight Marathon at Breakfast Party. Keeping the breakfast party a secret for now. That's okay. That's something that we could look forward to. But these medals are quite beautiful. Mr. Exeter, thank you very much for joining us this morning. In fact, to you, to the entire team, I mean, apart from Baffer Sports taking over the marathon, investing in this, how you have developed it and the themes that you all have put forward for this year is very exciting and absolutely incredible. So congratulations to you and to the rest of the team. And on behalf of Transvago, thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate your genuine interest, and we look forward to more people getting genuinely interested in movement. And of course, like I said, it does help with your NCDs, avoiding them, and recovery. So keep moving, Trinidad and Tobago, and I look forward to seeing you all at the race.
Indeed, the links are now live at www.baffersports.com. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break here on AM Prime. We've got some more conversations to get into, but this indeed is very exciting. And of course, again, once more, congratulations to the entire team, and thank you very much for what you're doing. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us.
Between the Bank and the Gutter, a novel about street dwellers in Port of Spain. This is a book to make you both laugh and cry. Above all, it takes you to that special space that only street dwellers know. In this moving and riveting human interest story, Harry journeys from insanity to sanity while living on the streets of Port of Spain. Now available at Metropolitan Books, 12 Aripita Avenue, Woodbrook. Paper-based bookshop, 14 Alcazar Street, Woodbrook. WESN, 30A Gattaca Street, Woodbrook. And the home store branches located at Barataria, Shogunas, and East Gates Mall. Autographed copies now available on request. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh. I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People, and Closer to the Church.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Simon's Musical Supplies Limited. We are the specialist in new and used musical instruments, carrying top brands like Yamaha, Pearl River pianos, vinyl and Sabian cymbals, Remo and Evans drumheads and Fender guitars, just to name a few. Also a wide assortment of music books, pan and accessories. At Simon's, we service what we sell. Trust the leader. Call us now at 625-6412 or visit us at 20 Board Street, Port of Spain.
This is Face of Sports, WESN Content Capital. How you felt about the kiss on the lips?
That's the business. I'm nothing to do with that.
I find that was distasteful.
The national senior team, whether you like it or not, that is the model for all other teams to follow.
I'm assuming that the regional requirement may be a much stricter requirement.
This is not about Pro League and Super League. This is a league run by the Normalization Committee that I'm responsible for.
Nobody expected FIFA to fund this arrangement.
If we don't get a professional attitude towards this, we are doomed for failure.
You break the balance, trip the leg, control the body.
They ain't gonna stand put forever.
Why you want the Chiefs to lose so? Why you want the Chiefs to lose so?
They already have two. Lamar don't
Why?
have.
You're jealous because you know the Chiefs getting closer to the Patriots. Let's go to the last part.
No.
Let's go to the last part.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
Tensions across the University of the West Indies' St. Augustine campus have risen, particularly in the last week, over what seems to be stalled negotiations as it relates to WIGA, the West Indies group of university teachers, over salary increases. As I said, we've covered this before, but following our last conversation with the president of WIGA at St. Augustine campus, Dr. Indira Ramprasad, last November, just about a week or two later, the Prime Minister at a press conference indicated that he directed the Minister of Finance to intervene, have direct intervention as per these negotiations to try and resolve the issue. I'm trying to figure out myself what has happened since. Is this something, again, that, as is the case in Trinidad and Tobago, has just fallen by the wayside? Let's speak to Dr. Ramprasad this morning as she joins us once more. Good morning, Dr. Ramprasad. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, good morning, viewers.
Dr. Ramprasad, following the Prime Minister's announcement last November, at the end of last November, has there been any correspondence between WIGUT, the principal of the campus, and the Minister of Finance? Has the Minister of Finance had any intervention at all in these discussions?
The principal met with the Minister of Finance on December 11th. And she wrote to us on December 12th stating that they were seeking more information, which I believe she subsequently provided since last year. So we're now nearing the end of January. Another month has passed, almost passed, and we have heard nothing. Okay, so to date they have not sent anything to the union. Therefore, we have escalated our protest action with the start of teaching semester this week. Okay, the marks were due on the 7th of January. We have withheld the marks as we had warned in November, December. We withheld the marks. So we have nearly 20,000 marks unsubmitted to date for the students. We have embarked on radical protest action with system shutdown and the shutdown of operations of our various departments, including the library, the bursary, the registry, student affairs, all of those departments, IT department. We have indicated that we are going to shut down. We have withheld the marks. We've now also indicated that there will be no submission of examination papers for this current semester. That is examination question papers. So our action is going to continue to escalate. We may even have to stall on teaching because next week is Whitewash Week, and it is called a week of rest, research, and reflection, where our members are just going to wear white and sit at their desks. Okay? Many of them may not want to go to teach. They would not do so. And then the week after that, which is the first week in February, when we launch a February Fury, this week is January Jolt. February Fury, may not see anything happening because that's blackout week, first week in February.
And this is the plan action, of course. Just to clarify, not all teaching staff on campus are actually members of the union.
Not all teaching staff, but our group includes others. So that would be academic, that's teaching staff, lecturers, whatnot, those who teach, those who research, go to classes, conduct exams. Then we have senior administrative staff, those who are involved in administration, including our administrative principal, registrar, deputy principal, HR director, bursa. They are all senior administrative in addition to others. And we also have professional staff, such as the library and IT staff. So it's a wide group, and they are involved in different aspects of campus life. So if library staff decided they're not going to provide any services, additional services to students, late services, etc., then the students are going to be seriously affected.
Do you think that this is a strategy that has worked that has bared fruit, withholding the marks of students?
It worked in the past. So we had a minister of education and minister of labor come to the campus. They met with the principal, who asked them to meet with us, and where we had withhold grades, and then they came and they settled in 2014. So this is the exact strategy that has worked. Minister of Finance knows this. He was a secretary of WIGOT. Prime Minister was in the WIGOT executive. They know that these are the strategies that they have to use because they were actually in the WIGOT executive. So that's why the Prime Minister advised the Minister of Finance to go and deal with this. He understands the value of education. He was a lecturer. He was a head of department of seismic department at UWI many years ago. When he came to our research day, he spoke about that experience at length. So it's not that they don't know what we're doing and the contribution we're giving. It's just that they're continue to treat us with disdain and disrespect. Okay, so they have the principal running back and forth, and spinning her like a top in mud for more information and more information, which in my opinion are simply more and more stalling tactics.
In that regard, the correspondence, the discussion between campus principal Professor Rosemary Bell-Antoine and Minister of Finance Colin Imbert, when that took place in December last year, what came out of that meeting? What was presented to WIGOT following that meeting?
All that was presented to WIGOT was a letter on December 12th, and the gist of it was basically she met with the campus, with the finance minister, and they were seeking more information. And this we couldn't understand because we provided a comprehensive salary adjustment proposal in December. And so we don't know what else they want. And like I said, I think it's simply stolen tactics. You owe money for 10 years. Now we're going in 11 years. This is a debt. This is not a gift. This is not a favor. This is not a prize. This is not a grant. This is just dues. This is our just dues. I don't know what information you keep wanting to give us our just dues.
Are you in a position to actually reveal what said proposal is? What is it that WIGOT put forward in relation to that salary proposal in December?
Well, our sister campuses have settled. So something, on the lines with the Barbados campus. So that's as much as I can tell you.
And no further details as in respect
to... No, unions don't divulge that kind of information. We cannot do so, since it's a negotiating process. It's a live process.
So coming back to the action on the part of WIGOT, have you met with the Guild of Students in relation to the withholding of marks as part of the protest action?
Yes, we met with the Guild of Students. I think it was two weeks ago, Thursday. And they are in solidarity with our cause. They have said so publicly. Clearly, they are not in support of the action because it affects them. But this action is not targeted at them. They are aware of this. I think they fully understand. They believe that we deserve an increase. They have called on the government to settle this dispute expeditiously, which is what we also want, so that they won't suffer. So they are fully aware of the situation. They don't like it. We don't like it. Administration don't like it. But such is the nature of collective action. And sometimes if you don't take harsh measures, you don't get what you want. So when TNTech blackout or the postal services withhold emails or water cost of water, these are measures that they have to take, So unfortunately, there are, unintended consequences, but such is the nature of collective action.
In this regard, this protest action is due to continue this week, of course, into February as well, as you indicated. But this has been going on for quite some time. Do you think that there has been any sort of care at all, or any sort of means of wanting to address this issue? How long does WIGOT plan to continue this protest action?
As long as it takes to get a reasonable remit, right? So what we are seeking an expeditious resolution to a long-standing, protracted problem. So we are going to continue our action. So there's another exam looming. And their coursework exam marks, which will be due this semester. There will be another exam looming at the end of this semester. And like I said, we've already issued a bulletin not to submit exam questions because some of those exam questions for Faculty of Engineering and Medical Sciences are due in February. Others are due in March and early April. If this is not settled, we are going to continue. We're just going to continue.
Could you define by what you would say is a reasonable response to the situation?
Well, you're asking for figures I can't give you. It's the same question you're coming back to me with in a different way. Unfortunately, I cannot respond something that our members find acceptable. That is what I can say, because I don't even know what that may be to the members. You know, so when they see it, they will decide if they want to accept it or not. It's a democratic process.
Do you think that the principal of the campus, Professor Rosemary Ballantyne, has really represented the teachers' plight fair enough or well enough to the Minister of Finance? Are you satisfied with that representation on the part of the campus?
She says that she is in solidarity with the cause. She's very, very concerned and worried about the status of the finances at the campus. They also owe them almost 1.5 billion in fees, student fees. So I don't know how they are operating the campus. So in addition to the arrears for staff, they also owe the campus a lot of money. Like I said, I don't know how the campus is operating. Whatever goes on in the room with the minister, we are not there, we are not privy. But she publicly has admitted that she's very concerned with the attrition rate. This is the preeminent tertiary institution in the Caribbean. As you know, every corner you turn, you meet a UE graduate, whether it's a certificate, a diploma, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a PhD. The graduates from UE. We're #1 in Latin America and the Caribbean. We are the research institute. We are the one that is publishing. We are the one that are receiving awards. I just received an award from the American Southern Political Science Association as an outstanding political scientist. So our members, you can't compare other tertiary institutions, even in Trinidad and Tobago, with the University of the West Indies. So she's stated all of this when we had our massive protest march, very, very well attended on Monday. She had stated all of this to the media. It's well published, it's public information, that she's very concerned about the survivability of the University of the West Indies, particularly the St. Augustine campus, of which she is the principal. We also represent the global campus, by the way, not just the St. Augustine campus. The global campus has a Trinidad and Tobago leg, which we got Trinidad and Tobago represent.
And, in this sense, the Minister of Finance has indicated that the demands, which were over 700 million in back pay being paid out, was a significant burden to taxpayers. It was unsustainable. This was said since last November. I mean, since then, the government has actually adopted the SRC report into salary reviews and proposed increases. Do you think that's a slap in the face to university teachers and university staff, considering this protest has been taking place for quite some time?
That's a rhetorical question. But that 701 million was erroneously cited because he was citing an old proposal. That was the first proposal we submitted, to which he responded 002002. We rejected that 002002, and they never came back with another remit. Right? They were supposed to come back with another remit. Instead, they asked us to do some kind of job evaluation. The principal asked us to work with her on a salary adjustment proposal, which was resubmitted in March. He never mentioned that. Never mentioned that salary adjustment proposal of March, which they had requested, okay, with full justification. On the question of the slap in the face, this is more than slap in the face. I don't know, you might want to call this a cuff in the face. This is a cuff in the face for all unions in this country who were thrown the pittance of 002 and 002, while public officers, including Prime Minister, got 47%, and very, very high increases for the opposition leader and the president, and the government officials with 10 to 12,000 raise per month. So they have to come with something good. When you talk about reasonable, you asked that question earlier, it has to be commensurate with what they have received. Because we are much more qualified than some of them. The University of the West Indies, these are the scholars, these are the PhDs, these are the professors. These are the ones who are contributed knowledge to the region and the international society. There are one or two of them there that got PhDs, the Prime Minister included. right? But so do we. Many of Karen, I have about 9 degrees myself, so you can't talk about qualification when you come to university with staff. You can't talk about qualification. We surpass most sectors in the country and in the region.
And in this sense, throughout the course of this conversation, I've asked about correspondence with the Minister of Finance. I have not asked about correspondence with the Minister of Education. Could you please enlighten us about that, whether or not there's been any at all?
Principal said she's in communication, but again, the Minister of Education is really the one supposed to deal with it. The Minister of Finance holds the pulse. However, the Prime Minister directed the Minister of Finance to deal with it. And in this scenario, this government, the Minister of Finance, but really it's the line ministry who liaises with the CPO, the Chief Personal Officer, who provides the remit for us. So Minister of Finance holds the purse, but it seems that he is going to be determining. I don't know if he will be determining what percentage increase we get, or if that is going to be coming from the Minister of Education. Now they have convoluted the process. They've convoluted the process. Before, the principal used to engage the Minister of Education.
Dr. Ampasad, I want to thank you for joining us this morning to add context to what is taking place. We do have a report, of course, in the newspapers, but thank you for expanding on that. And I sense your frustrations. Usually, when you are on the program, you're very much bubbly, and very much wanting to have these conversations and debates. But I do sense your frustrations this morning. So, to you and the rest of the staff, all the very best, and we hope, as I said last year in November when we last spoke, I say it again. Hope that this is resolved in that very, very soon, because staff is suffering, students are suffering, the whole campus is suffering because even they are owed money, as you pointed out. But thank you very much for your time.
Frustrated but not defeated, and thank you very, very much for having me, as always.
Take care, Dr. Ampasad. All the best.
Bye.
Well, we've highlighted this before. We will continue to highlight it. There are a series of ongoing wage negotiations, and everyone in Trinidad and Tobago is quite frustrated as per this. Those who, in particular, who are really having to deal with this, who are suffering with no answers to questions as per salary negotiations, and bearing in mind that this isn't something that started just last year. These are salary negotiations for periods between 2014, 2017, etc. We're in 2025. We're in 2025. Imagine that. That is so unfortunate, to say the least. I'm being very diplomatic in even using the word unfortunate. But publicly, before, I've indicated that Dr. Ampasad is a former lecturer of mine. I will tell you, when she mentioned that she herself probably has 9 degrees, the very first time all of us in her class learned that, we were absolutely shocked. And that is incredible, how someone can actually have so many degrees. But scholar, as she mentioned, teaches and also loves to learn, and I take my hat off to her for that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick break here on the program. When we return, we'll wrap things up for this edition of the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus. Quality you trust, prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
Simon's Musical Supplies Limited. We are the specialist in new and used musical instruments, carrying top brands like Yamaha, Pearl River pianos, vinyl and Sabian cymbals, Remo and Evans drumheads and Fender guitars, just to name a few. Also a wide assortment of music books, pan and accessories. At Simon's, we service what we sell. Trust the leader. Call us now at 625-6412 or visit us at 20 Board Street, Port of Spain.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're just getting ready to wrap up this edition of the program. So, of course, I want to thank all my guests for joining me this morning. Starting, of course, with Papa Sports Public Relations and Marketing Officer, Mr. Vern Extervort, for joining us. That in itself is very exciting. But if you get the opportunity, and I encourage you to, you can check out Bafa Sports' social media pages to get more information, or you can go on their website www.bafasports.com to register, as the links are now live. Then we had Dr. Indira Ramprasad joining us for that conversation. There are so many negotiations as it relates to wages taking place in Sri Lanka right now. There are a number of negotiations. We've covered them all of last year, and as we speak today, there are those that are still unresolved. So I was having a conversation with some colleagues in the office, and they said that the strategy that has been adopted is a wait-and-see game. We put this offer on the table, whether or not you'll accept it. It's like with the protective services. We've seen some members accept that particular offer. I believe it was 4%. And then there are others who have not accepted it up until this point. So all that is taking place in Sri Lanka. You see, it's not that I'm trying to end the show on a negative, ladies and gentlemen. I always try to end on a positive, but understand, whilst we have so much to be proud of as a nation, we have a lot to be proud of. We are truly blessed. TNT is beautiful. Internally, what is taking place, whether it be with the politics, whether it's the economics, they're all interconnected, they're all linked. It is very, very stressful. They have a lot of angry people, a lot of angry people. You're seeing it more and more, the anger and the frustration in a lot of our citizens. You see it, you experience it. So much so, if you're kind or polite to someone, if you say good morning, it takes them by surprise. That's what's happening now. We're so full of anger and frustration. I don't even want to use the word hate, but we're so full of anger and frustration that an ounce of politeness, some people don't know how to react it. That's what's happening. I'm seeing a lot more homeless people. A lot more homeless people. I'm seeing a lot more people begging for money. I am seeing kids, and I don't know where the protective services are. I don't know where Children's Authority are. I am seeing kids on the roadways begging or working, having to work. They're not in school. And I mean, it's because they can't afford to go to school, or for other reasons, such as They've lost their parents. Read a story the other day of a 15-year-old becoming the primary breadwinner of his household, dropping out to school to become the primary breadwinner. Are we ignoring these stories? Are we ignoring that the fact this is happening? If you pass by UE intersection, you will see children toiling in the hot sun, trying to sell goods or trying to clean your windshield for you. That is disheartening. What's even more disgusting is that the adults, who I assume to be the parents, is always be sitting under the trees in the shade, living life. The kids are the ones working the roads. That gets me very, very angry. But this is happening for some time now. Is there no intervention methods to deal with this? The rights of a child, education for all? That's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. So yes, we have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot to be happy about. We've been blessed. What is happening internally with our politics and our economics, there seems to be a complete ignorance of such. And politicians might not understand because they see themselves as being on a far different level, and even probably superior to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I bid you farewell and as I close this edition of Talking Point, I see your anger, I see your frustration. I even see the fear in not knowing where your next meal is going to come from, the possibility of not being able to cover all your bills, stretching everything. I see all that, I see those concerns. You are not alone. And we're going to have to try and figure this all out together. Because we have to survive, we have to fight. In the words of Dr. Rampersad, frustrated but not defeated. Well, not yet anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me this morning on the program. On behalf of my entire team, Ryan Gomez-Burke and Mile Wood, I thank you very much for being a part of AM Prime and being a part of WESN Content Capsule. I'm Keaton Shaw reminding you that no matter what, through it all, we persevere. Today is a good day to have a good day. Try and make it a good day for yourself. Make it happen for you. Whatever brings you happiness, try and remember that. And put a smile on your face today. Let's bring back TNT. This is sweet TNT. The good old days, the sweetness that exists. Let that reign. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
WESN.
Her voice has mesmerized us for years.
And now, in a rare treat for music fans,
Shakuntala and Friends in concert, featuring Shakuntala Jangbahadur. Singing sensation Deval Chaitlal, brilliant musician Dr. Shivanan Maharaj, master flautist and saxophonist Narendra Maharaj, with music from Shiv Sangeet Orchestra, Shakuntala and Friends in concert.
Shakuntala.
Between the Bank and the Gutter, a novel about street dwellers in Port of Spain. This is a book to make you both laugh and cry. Above all, it takes you to that special space that only street dwellers know. In this moving and riveting human interest story, Harry journeys from insanity to sanity while living on the streets of Port of Spain. Now available at Metropolitan Books, 12 Aripita Avenue, Woodbrook. Paper-based bookshop, 14 Alcazar Street, Woodbrook. WESN, 30A Gattaca Street, Woodbrook. And the home store branches located at Barataria, Chaguanas, and East Gates Mall. Autographed copies now available on request. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh. I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People, and Closer to the Church.
My name is Dr. Stephen Carroll, the CEO at Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist, and we are committed to making good private healthcare affordable.
For all your medical needs, including dental, radiology, laparoscopy, behavioral and mental health, along with many other services, contact us for more information at 235-5479.
Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Simon's Musical Supplies Limited. We are the specialist in new and used musical instruments, carrying top brands like Yamaha, Pearl River pianos, vinyl and Sabian cymbals, Remo and Evans drumheads and Fender guitars, just to name a few. Also a wide assortment of music books, pan and accessories. At Simon's, we service what we sell. Trust the leader. Call us now at 625-6412 or visit us at 20 Board Street, Port of Spain.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus. Quality you trust, prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
The home of Caribbean content is growing, and we welcome you to be a part of the #1 platform for young personalities who are driven to make a positive impact in society. As we continue to reach every corner of Trinidad and Tobago through our daily broadcasts, our social media pages, or through our 75+ digital billboards across the nation, contact us to learn about our competitive rates via marketing at wesncc.com or call us at 628-5835. WESN Content Capital, television with a difference.